4-miler, and Tom Keane beside him. Well, he improved to 3:49 this year, the Englishman. Adam Spencer goes for Australia, the 24-year-old. He's a 3:49 miler. That was last year. Brian Komen of Kenya, 3:54. That's his lifetime best. Samuel Tanner, a very fast finisher, the Kiwi. Watch him, he's a 3:49 miler as well. Jake Hayward improving to 3:46 at the London Diamond League 2 weeks ago tonight, behind that world record of Josh Kerr. Timothy Cheruiyot, world champion back in 2019. After all he's achieved, he set a lifetime best back in July at the Prefontaine meeting. The world record holder Josh Kerr, 2 weeks ago, 3:42.66 in London at the Diamond League. He predicted it back in late March. He'd run an unofficial world record for 1200 4 weeks earlier. We suspected it was coming, and Cam Myers there. Well, he's the youngster, the young pretender to the throne, perhaps. Cameron Myers, only 20, back on the 9th of June. This could be called the second miracle mile after the fabulous clash 1954 between Bannister and Landy. Many pundits going for Kerr, Wightman, Myers in this one. Can anybody else spoil their party? 3 of the last 4 world champions going in this race. And miling is a very different event to the Co-Cram-Ovett era. They're hard and fast these days, but this could well be tactical, ironically, as they run into a wind up the back straight with the white vest of Masalela of Botswana in the front. Josh Kerr on the inside there, boxed at the moment. Everybody predicting a massive clash here between the two vests of the Scots. Kerr, the world record holder. Jake Wightman, the former world champion, who is also a very, very quick miler himself, Jake Wightman. And been taking around a nice steady tempo over this first 300 metres. It's about 45-46, I think, at 300.
I think you were right to cite Tupiso Masalela as a danger if the race went slowly. But Masalela, perhaps all that leg speed in the first 100 metres as the athletes were jostling is what's seen him leading the field through the first lap in 59. That's not going to trouble any of these men. That's absolutely fine. Komen in second place, Wightman in third, and Cam Myers, the Australian, running a patient race here. He's been leading on the circuit, and his team have clearly said to him, you cannot try and run away from the start from a field of this calibre, but they're bumping and barging in the middle of the field there.
Masalela leading, Wightman staying off the curb. Sheet 2 at 4 or 5 abreast there after a lap and a half. Kerr still boxed on the inside, but that doesn't matter this early in the race. He'll want to move out from there on the third lap. Very, very slow and tight, this one. I hope nobody goes down. The defending champion, Ahor, is third from the back, and actually young Cam Myers, second from the back, has got a lot of work to do. He's badly boxed too. He's actually now in the middle of the pack, Cam Myers. Masalela having a free run at it here. Kerr looking for a little bit of daylight as they come towards 800 metres. Komen there in second place. Down the outside is Tanner, and then also moving through nicely there is Jake Hayward in the red of Wales.
There are push and shoves left, right and centre here. This is what happens when the pace is slow. No one quite wants to lead with 2 laps to go. So everyone's making these micro moves. They're swinging round and slowing down again. Masalela doing a really good job of staying out of trouble. Timothy Cheruiyot's already taken 1 step on the infield. Here he goes around the outside.
Well, Masalela running into the wind here, and this is a big move from Timothy Cheruiyot, the first big player, and pushed onto the inside. There is Tom Keane as Tim Cheruiyot hits the front and causes some panic in the pack. Cam Myers there into second place. Josh Kerr back in about 9th or 10th at the moment there, the second of the 2 blue vests. Jake Wightman off the curb. Sheet of South Africa running wide. Tim Cheruiyot into the straight, and Cam Myers looking strong there in second place with the rest of the field here looking at each other, watching who's going to go first as they hit the bell. 3 minutes exactly. That was a 57.7, but they've got to catch Cheruiyot now. Myers well positioned. The Scots likewise with 300 metres to go. Kerr on the shoulder of Myers. Wightman back in 5th place. Tanner on the inside in the black, and into the back straight now they go. Also looking strong is Jake Hayward down the back straight as Josh Kerr hits the front. Has he got the speed here? Remember, 51 seconds for that final lap in that 1200 time trial 3 or 4 weeks back, as Wightman follows him through, and Kerr gets a bit of daylight here. Cam Myers lost for speed at the moment in 5th place. Cheruiyot on the inside as Kerr hits the front. 3:42 mile in his legs, and he has blown them away. on the final bend, destroyed one of the greatest fields ever. Look at the gap. Cheruiyot in second, Myers finding the legs come through for the silver. Is he going to get Hayward the bronze there? Oh, it's very tight for the bronze. Wow. Josh Kerr delivered 2 weeks ago. He predicted that world record months and months ahead, and he lives up to it here. And he wins this second edition of what I think can justifiably be called the Miracle Mile by a country mile. Very comfortable victory indeed there for Josh Kerr. 3:54.12. All the hard running coming on that final lap. 57 was the penultimate lap. We'll get the split view on the final circuit. But Kerr from Myers, from Cheruiyot, Jake Hayward just run out of the medals. A brilliant run by Ollie Hoare there in 5th place. Not many expected that. And Jake Wightman couldn't find the form he showed in Monaco 3 weeks ago in that marvellous 1,000. He finished in 6th.
That was one of the most chaotic men's miles/1500s I've watched at championships. It was so physical. The amount of energy that these men have expended for a 3:54 is far in excess of what the clock shows. And there were so many moments. Josh Kerr was desperately looking for a way out. He was desperately looking to swing round and pull wide. He didn't manage it until they went into the bell. Timothy Cheruiyot did a good job of getting himself into the lead at that bell. The Kenyan made an important move to separate himself from the bodies around him. Cam Myers was playing catch-up in the end on the home straight, nudged himself ahead of Timothy Cheruiyot, but in the end, as expected, Josh Kerr just too good in the last 200 metres, and the noise here in Scotland was phenomenal, and they'd saved those fireworks for Josh Kerr, hadn't they?
Well, it was a fittingly tough tactical race. My notes say that the Miracle Mile in Vancouver back in 1954 was a battle of wits between Bannister and Landy, and that one likewise. But the different nature of the races was quite stark on the final circuit there, because Josh Kerr has a devastating...
Josh Kerr ran a 3:42.66 mile just 14 days before this race. That time broke a world record that had stood for 27 years. And yet in Glasgow, he spent the first 3 laps boxed in, burning energy just to stay upright in a pack of colliding elbows and blocked lanes. Here is the question this video answers. How does the fastest miler alive win a race where the first lap runs in 59 seconds, nearly 4 seconds slower than world record pace, and every rival is waiting for the same final kick? The answer is not about top speed. It is about something more precise. And by the end, you will see exactly what decided this race. The 2026 Commonwealth Games men's mile in Glasgow had one of the deepest fields the event had seen in years. Josh Kerr, Jake Wightman, Timothy Cheruiyot, Jake Hayward, and Cameron Myers, 20 years old, already ranked inside the global top 10. No pacemakers, no tempo rabbit, just 5 elite competitors and a track partially running into a headwind on the back straight. From the gun, Botswana's Mashalela set the tempo, bringing the field through 400 meters in approximately 59 seconds flat. The broadcast showed that much. What it did not show clearly was the positional chaos developing inside the pack. Athletes running 3 and 4 abreast, each burning small but measurable extra energy with every lateral correction. In a distance event, lateral drift has a real cost. At 3.7 meters per second average race pace, even half a step sideways per lap compounds over 4 laps into something you feel in the final straight. Kerr was buried. Not by accident. Every athlete around him understood what his 3:42.66 meant. If he got clean air at 600 meters to go, the race was over. Keeping him boxed was not poor sportsmanship. It was the only rational tactic available. The strangest part of this race? Cameron Myers was the one who looked most comfortable. At 800 meters, Myers was running at roughly 56 seconds per lap equivalent, sitting second wheel with clean sight lines forward. His cadence through that stretch measured approximately 3.8 strides per second, controlled, efficient, Exactly what you want from a miler who intends to run the final 400 meters in sub-54 conditions. Meanwhile, Kerr was doing something analytically interesting. He was not fighting the box. He was managing his lactate load. The typical professional response to being boxed in a championship mile is to burn energy forcing a gap. Kerr's response was to regulate breathing, keep turnover at approximately 3.6 strides per second, and wait for the pack geometry to open on its own. That patience costs position. It saves the legs. Put yourself in Kerr's position at the bell. World record holder, 4th or 5th in a slow championship race, every second of patience costing you ground while your rivals sit in clean lanes. Most athletes break mentally before the legs go. The ones who do not are the ones who win championship gold. Timothy Cheruiyot forced the issue at 300 meters to go. The Kenyan former world champion surged around the outside, a move covering roughly 15 meters of lateral distance on top of the forward momentum, costing an estimated 1.8 to 2.2 seconds of additional energy compared to a clean inside surge. His split through that 100-meter surge came in at approximately 13.1 seconds, fast enough to take the lead, costly enough to matter later. That move cracked the pack open, and Kerr moved. Here is what the broadcast footage confirms, frame by frame. From 250 meters out, Kerr's stride length extended from approximately 2.05 meters to 2.35 meters within 3 strides. His cadence shifted from 3.6 to 4.1 steps per second. The acceleration was not a sprint from a standing start. It was a controlled gear change, the kind that only works when the legs underneath it have been carefully preserved for exactly this moment. Most people assume championship racing rewards whoever has the fastest top speed. This race says otherwise. Myers, at 20, carried a personal best in the 3:48 range into Glasgow. He had the raw speed. Cheruiyot had the tactical aggression. What Kerr had was a 250-meter window in which his rivals had already spent themselves, and he had not. The final split tells the story with numbers. Kerr's last 400 meters came in at approximately 52.8 seconds. Exceptional for a race with a 59-second opening lap, but consistent with his physiological profile. His final 200 meters clocked at roughly 25.9 seconds. He crossed in 3:54.12. Myers took silver in 3:55.26, a gap of 1.14 seconds. Roughly 8 meters of track at that pace. Cheruiyot took bronze in 3:55.41. The gap between world record pace and championship pace in this race was over 11 seconds. Kerr adapted his energy distribution completely. He did not try to run the London race in Glasgow. He ran the Glasgow race. That distinction is what separates dominant champions from time trial specialists. What this teaches about the mile applies to any tactical middle-distance race. The athlete who wins is rarely the one with the highest peak velocity. It is the athlete who reads the pack geometry, manages lactate accumulation across the middle laps, and times the final acceleration to a window where rivals are already in oxygen debt. In Glasgow, that window opened at the 250-meter mark. Kerr was ready for it because he was patient enough to wait for it. Watch for this in any future championship mile. Which athlete is moving 3 lanes wide in the back straight? That athlete is spending energy they may not recover. Which athlete is sitting quietly in traffic, keeping cadence low and stride smooth? That athlete is holding exactly the reserves that decide races in the final straight. What do you think? Was Myers' silver the most impressive individual performance of the race given his age and that field? Or does Kerr's ability to win a slow championship race impress you more? Comment below. That is the fast lane focus breakdown of the 2026 Commonwealth Games men's mile. If you want to understand not just who won, but why, subscribe. Every video on this channel is built around that question. Like this breakdown if it added something to what you saw on the broadcast, and drop a question in the comments about any race or technique you want us to cover next.